All right, y'all. I'm here giving you Queen Sugar. It's not going to be up to par. I already know it's been a very long week and an even longer day. So I'm here to do the best that I can. We start with Ralph Angel. He's upset with Charley for not being with he and Nova at their father's or at their family plot. It looked like it was a bunch of different members of the family buried together. And Nova says, cut her a break. It is, the opening of the Queen Sugar Mill. She's making history today. Ralph Angel can't find it in his heart even a little bit to be proud of her, and I don't see it. Nova is sitting at her dad's desk, and I'm thinking, Lord, she finna find the will. Because she's rummaging through and she finds an envelope. And I'm like, this is it. She knows now. But it's actually a check from Shadow Enterprises for $600. And she's like, why, where did this come from? Who are they? So she proceeds to follow up on that, and we'll get back to that. Charley has an appointment. Darla lets him in. He walks in and says his name is Ben Harrison. Charley shook because she was expecting Adam. And Ben says, I'm not Adam, but I am good at what I do. And from just his initial entrance, I was annoyed, but, I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed by all things. So I didn't take too much into it. But by the end of the episode, I honest to God hate this man. I hate him. But whatever. He sits down and they get to chit-chatting. He's got his little recorder and they talking. And he starts asking questions about Davis. And I'm like, this is not about Davis. This is not Davis's moment. This is Charley's moment. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And then she's talking to him and she's faking like they still, are together. And I'm just like, none of this is, I don't want this. Anyway, swoop with me over to Aunt Vi in Hollywood. They are, Hollywood is bringing in the ingredients for the, the pies, Vi's pies. And, he's got the lemon, he's got the vanilla, he's got the rum, all of that. And she mentions that she won't be going to Ernest's memorial service thing. And Hollywood is like, you need to go, you need to be there for the kids, yada, yada. And she uses his line on him and says, I'm not their mama and they're not kids. They're grown. You told me that. And he kind of got to sit with that for a second. So Nova's following up with Shadow Enterprises. And I'm sitting here like, Lord, Ernest was a spy. Turns out Ernest was a custodian. Now, for some reason, Queen Sugar wanted to make this episode the episode where custodians should be ashamed. And I'm just sitting here like, he was a custodian. What is so bad about being a custodian? They really were shook that Ernest was a custodian. Like, okay. It's not like the man was selling his body. He was picking up and cleaning. Do you not pick up and clean at the house for free? Like, I don't understand. Anyway, they really tried to do the most about this custodian situation. I want them to shut up. Let's see. So Charley and Remy are showing Ben the mill, and Ben is telling them how they've got the whole situation, rehearsed, and, asking if Remy is basically Charley's new man. And Charley is saying, or Remy steps in and says, I was a friend of her father. Oh, they on drugs heavy. Ooh, wee. Have you ever seen somebody, white obviously, that is just lit to the point where you know what drug it is? These girls are doing meth. Crystal. Anyway, I hear something ticking. Is my signal on? My light, my blinkers. Anyway, back to this. Sorry, y'all. So Remy steps in and says, I was a friend of her father's. He was, more like a father to me. And, we kind of got a sibling relationship thing going on. And I was like, if this is siblings, I don't want it. I don't want it. Ralph Angel, I'm aggravated. Anyway, sorry. Ralph Angel and Blue are at the convenience store. And it just so happens that the young lady from the first episode where she was, where he came in, he was robbing the convenience store or whatever. That young lady has moved to a new convenience store, and he comes in, and she recognizes him, and she goes into, I lost my job because of you. And I'm saying, like, it must not have been a good job, because if somebody fires you because you got robbed, you shouldn't be there anyway. Like, they don't care about you even a little bit. So it was a blessing in disguise. There was no need for you to give all of that in front of this boy's son. But he did. And, I kind of understood her fear, her trepidation, because he reached in his pocket to get some money. And she kind of stepped back, and he just kind of threw the money and was like, come on, Blue, let's go. And rushed him out. And, I kind of understood both sides. I just didn't want her to be treating him like that in front of the boy. Let's see. Darla's having a hard day. She spilled some coffee on herself. It ain't easy being clean. And, Remy is upset that she hasn't announced that she's divorcing her husband. And I'm just like, you her brother, though. I can't be bothered. Remy gets on my nerves. He is almost as much, and pardon my French if any of my family may be watching, but I have to say it, he is almost as much a bitch as Sean over on Daytime Divas. Like, Remy is always giving you queenly attitude, and I just don't have the time. I don't have time for all these men whining and complaining all that. I just can't. I can't. Anyway, and so Charley says she's going to take some time for herself. She's seeing a therapist, blah, blah, blah. And Remy's like, oh, that's so nice. It's nice to have friends, blah. Dawn-Lyen comes in the room, and Charley sees that she has the coffee stains on her shirt. Now, honestly, the coffee stains weren't just too bad. It was not, black coffee. It was heavily creamed. I would have just told her daughter, get you some paper towels. But Charley sent her to her apartment and to use her, to put on some of her clothes. And the thing is, Charley is she wants the day to be so perfect. The daughter can't have this coffee stain on her ensemble. So Dawn-Lyen goes up to, the home, and I'm like, I understand that Darla's clean, but do you really want to crack it in your house? That's my thinking. Like, I don't know, we got to keep our eye on her. We just got to keep an eye. But, she's in there, she's, sizing up a dress, and Micah pops in. Sorry, I'm on Facebook. Micah pops in, and I'm like, what are we finna do here? Because, I've watched Tyler Perry shows, so I just never know what's going to happen in life. I'm watching the show, and I'm like, I really, really hope this doesn't turn into an intimate, like a sexually intimate moment. And it didn't, thankfully. It was an intimate moment, but it was more like an auntie, nephew situation than, sexual. Oh, Jesus, shut up. So he's putting on his jacket. He's like, oh, so your mom, my mom is micromanaging what you need to wear as well. And she's like, no, I just spilled some coffee. I'm just trying on an outfit, blah. He puts on his jacket. He's starting to put on his tie, and she does his tie for him. And you can see that she has been trained in something other than, crack economics. She's like a real, like, you can see every moment you see, every episode you see a moment of her, like, former life. And he says, where'd you learn to tie like that? And she's, my cotillion one year, my escort, blah. And it was a cute moment, but I was nervous. I was like, where's Kiki? Because we can't cheat on Kiki. Where is Kiki? We ain't seen Kiki but the very first episode, right? Like, or the second one, whichever one, where she was driving Micah's new car. But I'm like, where is she? I didn't care for it. So anyway, Ben is still sitting over there aggravating the hell out of me, asking all these questions. And then Charley gets some welcome to the club flowers from Landry. She thought they were from her mama. And I thought they was from her mama too. So when she read Sam Landry, I said, no, your mama ain't even sent you flowers. What a shame. What a true shame. And then I said immediately after that, I said, you need to check those flowers for bugs, for anything that will be reporting intel back to the Landrys and the Boudreaux is what you need to do. But we didn't see her do that, so. They're still walking around, Nova tells Jesus, what's the boy name? Ralph Angel that, their daddy was a janitor and he shook about it. Denton Prosper is like, he told me he was moonlighting, but he wouldn't tell me where, and they're just real grim that this man was a janitor. It's like, the man was not out here selling drugs like Jada Pinkett Smith used to do. He's out here making an honest living. I don't understand why everybody's shaking their head and so forlorn about this man having a job. Anyway, so we get to the opening, the grand opening, and Charley is giving, my father was a good man. This is for you, dedicated to my daddy Ernest, all of that, all the, the dedications. And, we gonna have Ralph Angel and his son Blue start off the grinding process. So they come and they dump their cane in the mill, in the grinder, whatever the thing is. Hopper, I don't know. She said words that I didn't understand. Donna looked really cute in Charlie's dress. I just had to pause to say that. And then, Ralph Angel walks up to Dawn-Lyen and says, well, now you're working with her, and now you're wearing her outfits too, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I spilled coffee. Like, she really tried to explain herself. And I'm saying, like, nigga, if I want to put on this lacy black dress, I will put on this lacy black dress. There's nothing you can do to stop me, and I don't know why you're trying to talk to me like I'm crazy. Like, I don't have the time. Anyway. Where are we? And then he goes on to say, you do look good, and then they proceed to go on about their day. Now, an alarm starts going off, and little red lights start flashing, and I'm just like, what is going on? Is it a fire? Did the Landry set the joint on fire? I was so shook. I just didn't know. I didn't know. And Charley started running. I've never run that hard in my life. Never in my life. And she was picking them up and putting them down. And they get to the back and they see that something is clogged or something like that. And Remy is like, they just, she's like, well, fix it. She's like, we will fix it in just a second. Give us some time. Charley takes off her jacket and starts digging her arms down in the machines. I'm like, all right, you going to come back with a nub? And she's digging and she's digging and she's crying and she's hollering. And everybody's like, dang, if you would have gave us like 15 minutes, we really, like, dang. And Nova has to go get her and hold her, and she crying, and Ben is standing there, and he's, taking the moment in. And I believe Darla walked up to him and said, this is a private moment. And he just said, sure. And kept standing there. And I'm like, that means get out, but okay. So anyway, she talks to Nova, and she says she feels bad because Ernest had called for help, before he died. He called and asked for help, and she was just too busy to go and do that. And the way they have it set up, I'm one that's going to say in every review, this is different from the book. The way they had it set up in the book, Ernest was there for Nova and not there for Ralph Angel. It's reversed in the story, in the show. So I feel like, because listen, I'm one of the girls who my daddy was across the country. And so speaking from someone who has a father who is across the country, I can speak as Charley in saying that she probably just was so accustomed to like seeing her daddy once or twice a year that when he called and asked for help, she was just going to be like, well, I'll catch you when I get there for Christmas, or when I come for, when Micah gets out of school for summer vacation, we'll come and I'll see what's going on. And she didn't have that time. So now she's shook. She's crying, and she thought that, opening the mill would make the whole situation right. And now she's having this meltdown. And Nova tells her that she doesn't even remember the last time she and her daddy spoke. And I said, now that's a problem, Nova, because you in the same state. Like, and this man, from what we can gather, was in your life growing up. So that, I don't understand that. But she says, they hadn't spoken in a while. And then by the time she got to the hospital, he couldn't talk. And so she doesn't have that little bit of closure. And then Nova steps out and she talks to Micah, and, he's asking, is she all right? She's like, yeah, she's going to be all right. Your mom, but failure is not an option for her. And then they swoop back to the party, and Blue and Unvi are looking at a picture of Ernest, and he's just like, I feel like I could reach out and I could touch him and feel his skin, and I miss him. And I'm like, oh, Blue. It hurt me. And I'm like, he could have used Kenya in this moment. And I'm sitting here at this point, I'm like, where is Kenya? Where am I? Because as we all know, I'm Kenya. And, Vi's standing there, and she's like, I miss him too. And, Blue's like, well, he wasn't your papa. And she says, no, he was my brother, and I miss him. Let's see. Ben is still doing too much. Okay. All right. She almost hit me. Ben is still doing too much. And a part of that too much is the most. He's just doing too much and the most. And he's asking all these questions. He's telling her how he saw her break down. And she's saying, don't put that in. Don't tell nobody, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I want to tell the truth. I just want to, spill the tea. And for some reason, she says, you write about the mill and I'll give you something else. And I'm like, why you don't just, the world literally saw you walk out into the middle of the court and fist fight Davis. Why? Nobody would be shocked to find that you had a breakdown at your mill. No one. Anyway, so she says that if he writes, this piece about the mill, she'll give him the exclusive on the divorce that she's working on with Davis. Let's see. Darla offers Charley a listening ear, and I'm like, I kind of see it for this Darla Charley like sisterhood. It's cute. I see it. And she's like, we had a good day. And Charlie's like, aside from the, the choke, the meltdown, it was all right. It was cool, but I feel like I failed. And Darla says something along the lines of, you ain't failed or something. And Charley says, you haven't met my mother. And Darla says, you haven't met my dad. And I'm like, oh, so your mama's his daddy. Her mama's her dad. I was trying to be witty and it just didn't come together for the good. Anyway, apparently Darla's father is extra. And I hope we get more into that, but that'll probably be another season. Charley then gets up and is like, yeah, let's celebrate the day, and gets 2 glasses. And I said, Charley, I know you're not doing what I think you're doing. And she rounds that corner with a bottle of wine. And Darla's looking at her like, I can't drink. I'm not going to be able to. And Charlie's like, oh, girl, I'm sorry. I forgot. You want some iced tea? And they drink iced tea. And then Darla says, I've been sober for going on 2 years now. And I said, you really should just start counseling the girls. Go over to the Haves and the Have-Nots, counsel Wyatt, then swoop over to VH1 Daytime Divas and help Kimmy through her problems. Because 2 years is an accomplishment, and I'm proud of you. Anyway, she says they're having a little 2-year ceremony, and she said Ralph Angel's going to be there, and I would love it if you would be there too. And Charley says, I'm flattered that you'd ask. I'll be there. And it was cute. I don't know if she's going to make it now because we had some drama at the end. Let's see. And then Darla says, thank you so much, for giving me this job. Having a schedule, regular schedule really helps with my sobriety. Nova, she whispers to the spirit of her mother. And I'm like, is her mama going to talk back? Like, I was really listening to see if I heard, some whispers back. But she didn't. And we are at Ernest's memorial thing. And Aunt Vi does make it to the function. Blue sees a dead bird on the ground, and he's getting ready to pick it up. And I'm like, what does this symbolize? And then Nova hangs up with her mama, and then she contacts Ernest. And I don't know if Ernest picked up the phone or if she left a voicemail, but she was standing out there with her hands outstretched, and she was like, everyone is here. And, we've done what you asked. And Ralph Angel sitting over there like, I ain't done what this man asked. And we have poured our hearts and souls into the function, and the farm is going to be the bomb now. Amen. And then they swoop to dinner. But before they get to dinner, Blue is hiding in the curtains and he's crying, and Ralph Angel goes over there and says, what's going on? What's wrong? And Blue says, this is not Kenya. And we all knew he was going to know that wasn't Kenya. He says, Kenya had a birthmark. I gave it to her myself. I'm like, y'all didn't know about Kenya's birth? Like, you need to know these things. Kenya had a birthmark. Now, you put the birthmark on. It's a shame. It's truly a shame. And then Ralph Angel tells Blue that Kenya got thrown away, and Blue's reaction literally like yanked at the heartstrings that I don't have. He said, did she do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And I said, oh my God, this baby, I can't, he's so precious. He is the preciousest. And that is a word I've created. He's so cute. Like, no, Blue, you didn't do nothing wrong. You all right. It was just a mistake. And then, they hug. And Blue asked, why did the store lady call you a liar? Oh, he didn't answer. Ralph Angel didn't answer. He just says, I'm not a liar no more. I'm trying not to be a liar anymore. Something like that. And so we swooped to dinner. Vi made dinner. She put it down. It was the bomb and all of that. And, they're getting ready to eat. And Vi asked Ralph Angel to say the grace. And much like myself, Ralph Angel said, I'm good. And much like my family, Nova said, Ralph Angel. As if to say, you better say this grace. And, they bow their head, and Ralph Angel's giving, Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this food. Let it be a nourishment to our bodies. Bless the hands that prepared it. All this, that, and the other. And in the middle of the prayer, he remixes and starts saying, my daddy, we remember Ernest, or we remember our dad. He was a good man, and I'm trying to be a better man, and I ain't been telling the truth. And Vi says, Ralph Angel, finish grace now. Wait, you finna do too much. And Ralph Angel proceeds to say that he found the letter, and y'all know what happened. He found the letter his daddy wrote, the will, and left the farm to him. The girls, much as Violet knew, are shook. And not only are they shook, but they're shookth with a TH that intensifies the shookness. And Charley's like, so how long have you known this? He said, a couple months back, right after Daddy died, I found it. And it was logical, but it was also like, girl, it ain't all about money. Charley said, so you knew all of this and you still allowed me to uproot my family, uproot my life, and spend my money. Like, you took advantage of my money. And he did. Like, Darla tried to step in and say, that's not what happened. But he did, though. He did take the money. He did take advantage of the money and all of this. And I know he felt bad about it, but him feeling bad about it does not mean he didn't do it. And he did. Just point blank, period. He let this woman spend up all this money to fix and help and revitalize a farm that's not hers. He did do that. I mean, it might not have been his intentions. It might not have been, the desires of his heart, but he did. And we can't say he didn't. Anyway, so Nova is over there, and Nova goes into, our father was a janitor. And Charley's like, was? And she's like, he was a janitor, and he picked up and cleaned after other people for you and your son, Ralph Angel. And Charley's like, shook, because our daddy was a janitor. It's like, you knew your daddy was living a regular life over here. You knew that. Don't be shook today. I'm sick of it. And, Ralph Angel's like, we're not going to put this all on me. Charley, you were living the life out in L.A. Nova, you were 20 minutes away, and you ain't even stopped by. And I said, accurate. All of that's true. And Nova stands up and she hollers, and, like you were there the whole time. You having that, the majority of that time you were gone too. You were in jail. And, you know, Nova's getting ready to storm off. And, before this, Ralph Angel says, yeah, you were fighting for every other brother, but not your brother. Every brother in prison, but not your brother. And I said, yikes. I don't know how to help this situation. And then Nova gets up, storms off, or tries to storm off. And Vi steps in front of her, Charley steps in front of her. And let me tell you something. I've told the story before. I don't remember what video it was in, but I've told the story about how my mom pissed me off good one day. And I acted a fool a little bit. And I came home after being out on the town, not answering phone calls and this, that, and the other because I was pissed. And my mama, as soon as I walked in the door, she rushed me. So I started to try to walk out the house because I'm not going to hit my mama. And my mama went and stood in front of that door. When I tell you that is the onlyest, as Much Love from Kentucky said, the onlyest time that just a brief fleeting thought for me to grab my mother and push her out the way. I wasn't going to hit her. That's never crossed my mind. But to grab my mother and slide her out of the way. So I knew how Nova was feeling when they stood in front of that door, and I had a flashback, and I felt it too. And then, you know, the episode ends with Vi saying, nobody is going anywhere until we settle this mess. And then the show went off. And it was great. I'm glad I waited because I did not have the mental capacity to give y'all, you know, everything that this episode needed. It was such a good episode. Anyway, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things the YouTubers say. I'm finna go grab a couple groceries and slide on to the house. Matea's information's in the description. You know, her family really needs help, prayers, donations, all of that. So check that out. And I'll catch y'all Sunday-ish, around Sunday for Claus and just Claus because Potomac's off. So anyway, peace.